A couple things I want to tell you. Please go to my YouTube page and check out some of my vids. That's youtube.com/SpanishJC. Again, that's youtube.com/SpanishJC. You can see clips from my TV show True Talk and from Schenectady today as well. There's a lot of clips up there. Also, if you want to hear some stuff from my CD, go to cdbaby.com, search my name, John Cancio, and take a listen to that. We go on to the show now. First up on the show, we have Michelle Keleher. She's here to talk about energy mirrors. Welcome to the show, Michelle.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Now, energy mirrors, this is a cool thing, isn't it? It helps people, doesn't it?
It does.
So tell us about what is energy mirrors.
Energy mirrors is a way to look at the environment of the clients to help them clear their energy field. And what happens is, to give you an idea of how it differs from standard medical practice, standard medicine is a linear way of looking at things. You get a symptom, it causes something else, you get another problem, and that problem causes another thing, and we call that Newtonian or linear medicine. But with energy mirrors, it's a quantum approach. It's looking at how all the different things that happen affect each other. So if A causes B and B causes C, well, they all interact with each other so that there are so many layers of stuff in your field that create the symptoms.
Okay.
And if you have symptoms can be caused by many, many things. There are things that the drama in your life, traumas that you've had, some of the genetic things that are going on in your family.
So is this physical pain or is this mental pain?
It can be
is it
all.
both?
It can be physical, it can be emotional, it can be spiritual.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So we look at the symptoms just to give us an idea about what's happening. But it's done in a nonverbal way. It's done so that if you were the client and I am the person who's doing the treatment, I'm called a facilitator.
Okay.
I'm here, I am a neutral person reading your field.
So energy mirrors is healing?
It's healing, but it's
Healing.
not, as a facilitator, I'm not healing you.
Okay.
I am reading your field. You are having a nonverbal conversation with me.
So this is based on our energy?
Based on our energy. Okay. So, and it's done in a very quiet way. It can be done with you being here with me or at a distance. So many of my clients just call me, give me a list of their symptoms, and I can go to work in my office.
Is it a one-time thing or do I have to keep coming to you all the time?
Sometimes it's a one-time thing if it's a real simple thing and there aren't layers and layers of stuff that's creating it.
So it depends on the situation?
It depends on the situation,
So how did you get into energy mirrors?
Well, I'm a physical therapist.
You are?
And
How long have you been doing that?
I've been doing it for 45 years.
45 years? Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
A very standard approach. And I got into soft tissue osteopathic therapy about 25 years ago. And so I have been working osteopathically with soft tissue for chronic pain, and the last 10 years working with lymphedema patients, people who have swollen limbs.
So you've been actually doing this for nine or 10 years, the energy
mirrors I started doing about 9 years ago. And the way it happened was I was in an automobile accident and I couldn't use my hands after the accident. And I couldn't treat myself through the osteopathic method. And so I went down to a physician in New York who was doing what I do, but she was also doing energy mirrors. And that's where I saw the big changes.
So someone introduced this to you?
Someone introduced it to me, and I decided that this was another approach that I wanted to get into.
So what did you like about it that made you say, okay, I have to make this a part of me?
I like the idea that the client is doing all the work. Okay, the client is taking responsibility for their own lives, for their own issues.
So do you feel like you're sort of guiding them?
I'm a guide. I'm totally a guide. And I take a lot of courses to be able to know what I have to do, but I'm simply a guide. If we're sitting in a room right now, and this room is set up to have a certain function, it's an interview function.
Okay.
So it has a certain amount of furniture in it, it has a certain amount of space. And the amount of space that's in this room is a comfortable amount so that we can move around, we can talk, we can move our hands around.
Right.
A room is like a cell in the body. The cells have to have a certain amount of space to be able to function. So if you have, let's say, you decided now that you wanted to bring the cameras in this space, you wanted to put a refrigerator in this space, you wanted to move a whole bunch of people in this space to listen to me, that space would disappear and it would become more dysfunctional because now the interview space, we can't move around as easily.
So everything causes energy, and it changes.
It changes. We call it charge. And
Charge.
anything that comes into the field, the energy field, is charge. And when too much charge comes into the field, it creates symptoms in the body.
Okay.
The body starts to break down.
So let's talk about some of those symptoms. What are the symptoms?
Symptoms, it could be anything. It could be knee pain. It could be an emotional issue. It could be a psychiatric issue.
So if I'm having back pain, I can come to you for help.
You can come to me for help.
Okay.
Right? And what you would do, we would have a conversation first, and I'd find out, what is this back pain like? Because just telling me that you have back pain doesn't tell me enough information.
Right.
So I'd want to know, when does it bother you? What kind of activities do you do that make your back hurt even more? What does it keep you from doing in your life? Those are the things that are important, because when you first get the back pain, it's your body telling you there's something going on that's creating this.
Okay, so
It's not the symptom.
how does energy mirrors help with the back pain? What are the long-term effects?
The long-term effects is that it will go away. It will clear other things that are creating the problem. So let's say you have a lot of stress in your job.
Right.
Okay, and that's creating the back pain. When I have this conversation with you, you give me information that's telling me why you have this stress, what you're reacting to get this stress. Once you give me that information, you begin to shift your energy field and clean out all the stuff that's come into your space. And you begin to feel better. Now, it may not be the pain that goes away first. It may be the things that are creating the stress in your life, and then the pain leaves.
So
everybody's different.
Have you found that stress does cause a lot of the problems that we do have in our lives?
Yes.
You know, as opposed to having something, you're diagnosed with something that's, wrong with you.
It's a combination of
It's a
those
combination?
things. Yeah, it is a
Okay.
combination. So stress is one. Drama in your life is a big one. It can be many things in your life. It could be your job. It could be your family. So if you have somebody in the family that's having difficulty, you pull in their issues into your field. So a good example is like when you walk into a room and there's a whole bunch of people. You get drawn to certain people that you want to speak to. And there are other people that you see in the room, and you know intuitively that you don't want to be with that person, that you don't want to talk to them. It's because that person is emitting some form of charge that your field doesn't like, and that would make you walk out of the room and not feel good. Okay.
And we talk about this feeling. I know that I've known people that, they were dying, and they've said, well, I want to live longer. So just having that strength to want to live, does that help?
Certainly, that's the decision to clear their field.
So it can be more mental than anything.
Yes, it can. It's really taking the responsibility to want to be healthy. And when we do energy mirrors, the person who's doing the treatment doesn't have an intent to fix. Whereas if in linear medicine, where you get a knee pain and you go to a doctor and the doctor says, okay, he doesn't ask you too many questions, because right now the way medicine is, they can't ask you too many questions. They just give you a pill. Well, everybody's knee pain is different.
Right.
So you may describe your knee pain one way. I'll describe my knee pain another way, but we give the same medicine for everybody's knee pain. We don't take into effect all those little things that come into your life that maybe have created it. That's why sometimes we wake up in the morning, we went to bed at night, and we felt great. And we wake up in the morning, we don't feel good. Well, what came into your field? It could be a number of things from the day before, or an accumulation of things in the field, the charge, that just became too much.
So that's where you come in.
That's where
and you try to, basically you investigate and see exactly what the problem is, rather than just give them a medicine. You give your own take on it, don't you? Now, how does this differ from other energy techniques?
Many of the other energy techniques are have more of an intent.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I give an example of Reiki, it's people feel good after they have Reiki,
Okay.
but they have to be very careful that the facilitator, the person who is doing the Reiki, is not pushing their own intent and their own issues into the body. There are good practitioners in everything that we do, and there'll probably be good energy mirrors facilitators, and there are probably people who don't have enough information to be able to do the sessions. But you can't hurt anybody with energy mirrors,
Mm-hmm.
because you're not pushing energy. Every facilitator is taught how to stay neutral, not to blend, to stream, or channel energy into the body, because the whole thing is the client is fixing himself. He is making himself feel better by giving me the information.
So what are your goals with energy mirrors? What would you like people to know, ultimately?
To know that they can come and have a session,
Mm-hmm.
and not have to do all the things to alter their environment,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to feel better. In other words, if you have back pain, finding better chairs, getting a better mattress, those are all the things that you change your environment to meet what the problem is. That you can actually take care of a lot of the symptoms, most of the symptoms, without having to take medicine, without
Mm-hmm.
having to do all these things like join an exercise club and run like a crazy person,
Yeah.
because you have to get the weight off, or you have to, keep your joints in place. You can have a more normal existence without having to do all these.
And those medicines
things.
aren't really good for you to be taking all this stuff that they prescribe to you.
Well,
It adds up.
Yeah, it adds up.
Yeah.
And after a while, if you treat two headaches the same way, they don't respond the same way, so there may be side effects.
And then you end up taking more and more and more.
Take more and more. The headaches come back because you've never gotten at the cause. Yes.
And I also want to mention your husband, Bill. Bill's out there, and he's very supportive of you.
Yes, very
of
supportive of me. We do this in our home.
Mm-hmm.
We have a home office.
Okay.
And so we try to provide a very comfortable environment for the clients when they come, because many of the people I see have very chronic issues. They've been sick for a very long time. Many times they come to me because they have been many other places and have not done well. And
Right.
they're frustrated and they're scared.
Yeah.
And so we provide an atmosphere where they feel comfortable. I do not schedule anything. I don't see more than 5 or 6 or 7 patients a day.
Yeah.
Okay, and I do some distance patients as well, and they're worked into my schedule.
Yeah.
But I leave at least an hour to an hour and a half per client, and if they need more, they've got it.
And as I was saying, this can be a process. You can
Yes.
keep doing this to help. Now, will you teach your clients how to do this for themselves?
Yes, I do.
How to be independent?
Yes, we teach them. The technique that we're using is called mirroring.
Mirroring. Okay.
So when I can read the body, when I can see what's going on through this conversation that I'm having with the client, then I can tell what's happening. to open up the space. Well, they need to follow up with opening up that space. And we do it, we started out doing it through breath, but we're now doing it so that the client can actually visualize the space in any part of the body, or just visualize space. So if I have them close their eyes and just see the space, and they start to shift on their own. That's also a process. At first, they're not very comfortable with it, and so I help them work through it. Sometimes we start out with going through the body and just feeling the space through the body, feel where they're stuck, and then feel the breath where they're stuck, and then begin to just feel the space, and they don't even have to think about the breath. It's not a thinking process. It's not about
Can
the
this be
mind.
compared to meditation?
It's an extension of
Meditation.
meditation.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
okay. So where can we
It's
go to get more
evolved.
information about energy mirrors?
Well, you can go on my website.
Okay, go on the website.
And that is www.delmarpt. And you can then link on to the Energy Mirrors site.
Okay, give that website again.
That is www.delmarpt.com.
Okay. Well, I thank you very much for being a guest today. Very interesting. And hopefully
Thank
we'll
you.
have you on again.
I'd love
Thank you
to.
very much. We will go to a break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Thank you.
How was it?